good young man.
Yes, well, people have asked that question. They say, well, you're running from the outside, and it sounds like that you take exception with these people. And I do take exception, not with them personally, but by the actions that they take. Now, how do you get something done? Well, you need 3 votes to get something done. You have to understand that when I became persona non grata over the hospital issue, and things were a little chilly on the 3rd floor, that was very early in my term of 16 months. And yet after that, I was able to accomplish a very long list of things. You do that because you find an issue, you find a council person that thinks along the same lines, you go to that council person, you take that to the council, you get a 3rd vote, you get it passed. I got a lot done while I was there. And I am certain that if I get back on the council, I will get a lot done again. You work with the council. And believe it or not, all of the members of the council do not, and this is a secret, so please don't tell anybody, they don't all love each other. It's just not the way it is in government. And they're not supposed to. Everybody has their own opinions, and everybody is working for what they think is best, but they're representing different groups, they're representing different ideas. That's what the democracy is about. I like to say that the council is not a team sport, and the city manager is not the coach. The council works for each and every one of you. And when you come before the council, and there's something on that you have a problem with on the other side, you need to get even balance. You need an even shot. You need somebody to listen to you, whether you're 1, whether you're 50, whether you're 100 people. When they moved participation back to the end of the meeting, the city manager said, well, when asked why he did it, he said, well, people spend a lot of time and a lot of money to put their things on the agenda, and they need to be heard at a reasonable hour. Words to that effect. I asked the city council, why would you allow the manager to do that? And Frank said, oh, he didn't do it, we all did it. No. You need to have balance. The reason you have a city council is so that you can go there and talk to them, and that you can go there as a single individual and have yourself heard before your elected representatives. Otherwise, why have a council? Just hire a corporation to run the government. Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you get elected, do you think you would be able to get us a new city manager?
The question was about a new city manager. And I have to tell you that the city manager, our city manager, has done a great job in many areas, especially fiscally. And I will also tell you this, the city manager works for the city council. So the city manager has to be a great politician to keep his job. And he makes sure that he has 3 votes by the city council. So I'm rather certain that if I were elected and 2 of the other council people really wanted something from the city manager or going in a certain direction, the manager will do that because that's his job. The existing manager or any other manager. So no, I don't have it in for the city manager. Like I said, he has a tough job, but remember, he works for the council. So if he's making decisions, he's not making those decisions in a vacuum. He's making those decisions because the council is either having him make the decision or allowing him to make the decision. Yes, sir.
You mentioned that about the crime, traffic, and overcrowding in the San Fernando Valley. Well, in my opinion, we're there now in Santa Clarita. Too much traffic, too much crime, too many people. What are you going to do about that?
Okay, what is the question? Because I tend to agree with you that the traffic, it's getting worse. Okay? Now, why is it getting worse? Well, 2 of the council people that are running for office have been there for 12 years. 1 has been there for 8 years. 20 years later, we've starting to finish our first major road over here, the Cross Valley Connector. They have approved already 42,000 units in some form of approval already. 42,000 housing units. That 3.09 per house is about what it's running right now. It's 127,000 or somewhere in that neighborhood without doing the math. The average growth rate in Santa Clarita, the whole valley, over the period of the last 20 years has been about 7,000 persons per year. When you do the math, you realize we have 25 years worth of housing already approved. You ask yourself this question, because I've asked the city and I haven't gotten an answer. We've got 25 years worth of housing approved already. Why are we talking about doing infill, high-density projects for Valley of Villages? How can you change that? You can only change it, first, by changing the plan, and second, by taking each individual project that comes up. And don't get me wrong, I am not anti-growth or even slow growth, but I am for growth that is supported by the infrastructure. In other words, we need to do a comprehensive plan on traffic and make sure that the traffic is not going to get worse. The One Valley, One Vision that we're talking about now, there are grades that they have, just like school. You get graded by the county, and it's called the Congestion Management Plan. And they require different jurisdictions like the city to report on a regular basis. How bad is the traffic? How bad is it going to be? And they have grades A, B, C, D, E, and F, which is failure gridlock. Our existing general plan right now states A would be ideal. What is A traffic? A traffic is whatever the speed limit is, you're going that. You come to a stoplight, by the time it cycles once, you go through. You don't have to wait for a second light ever. That's A. F is total failure. So our existing general plan, what it is it says something to the effect that we think A is ideal, but we're targeting that no less than C, except in urban areas where, D could be not desired, but okay in some circumstances. The new One Valley, One Vision plan, the target for these major intersections and roads, E. Now, you know how good the government is at hitting their targets. I've got news for you. We need to take that back out, and we need to redo the general plan that says we will not, to start with, we won't make the traffic any worse. You have to show us where the roads are before you build the houses. And I've got news for many people. There are other agencies that have seen that as well. Actually, our State Attorney General's office just sent a letter recently down and commented on the EIR for One Valley, One Vision and stated to the county. Now, the county and the city are separate plans legally, but remember, they're trying to be one plan overall, so they mesh. And they have said to the county, County, I'm sorry, you're showing over 100% more traffic, and yet you're not taking any consideration. You're not showing us how you're going to alleviate that or what the alternative is, because you're going to have particulates poured into the air by all these cars. And these particulates are going to be in our valley, which, remember, we're a little topographically challenged. One of the reasons why it's so expensive to build roads, because we're in a valley, and a lot of the smog stays trapped. And so Mr. Brown's office sent that letter down, and they're going to have to address that at the county, but of course the city is going to have to address that same issue in their area as well. We breathe the same air. So it's the same valley. So there are ways to impact it. There are ways to control it. And it's done through zoning, and people would have you believe, oh, the state says we have to build these houses. That is not true. Okay? Do not let them tell you. The Supreme Court of the United States has ruled that zoning is a local issue. You have the